Now you might think I'm in a secluded wetland, but in fact the small facade of wetland environment that you see, we are literally in the middle of urbanisation. Now this is the beautiful Black Swan Lake. It's a 2.7 hectare man-made lake, but it is vital for so many bird species. Both resident birds that use this as a breeding ground and have their little nests around the water's edge, but also migratory birds that come here and use it as a vital rest stop on very long migrations. Now, there used to be so much of this wetland environment, this paperbark, she oak and tea tree swampland throughout the whole of the Gold Coast. But in recent times, this environment has shrunk to a very small part of the Gold Coast. So at a time when we need to be protecting and making more areas like these wetland areas, they're looking at turning this area into a car park. Now I'm in Bundall, which is right in the centre of the Gold Coast, so environments like this, literally in the middle of a concrete jungle, are so rare but so desperately needed for our wildlife. Now on any one day you can come here and there are so many different birds that visit this lake. Now this is also used as a flood mitigation here on the Gold Coast. So times of great rain, which we've been having recently, this area fills up and drains a lot of the surrounding area of water. So it's another vital reason why we need to maintain these freshwater areas.
Council should be absolutely responsible for preserving these areas. It's part of their duty of care. We have birds that come seasonally, different birds to this lake, but all over the city we have extraordinarily valuable biodiversity, but not so many remnant samples now because of the spate of development. So it is really incumbent on Council to guard this for future generations. As filmmakers such as you who do wildlife documentaries all over the world know, it is a vanishing quantity, it needs proactive guardianship, and it's too late in the 21st century to fill a lake which has international migratory birds and local birds which are so precious in the world. The usage of these birds, to fill that in is would be an extraordinarily ignorant thing to do. The Ornithological Society of Queensland identifying almost 40 species, I think, and of course the adjacent Ramsar sites mean there are a lot of migratory birds that use this marvellous freshwater retreat, which is safe in its nesting purposes from the bull sharks in the canals. It's just a beautiful refuge for the magnificent herons and the black swan, of course, and the magpie geese. And it does, of course, contribute to the other bird havens in the area. But this one is special. It's large, it's sheltered, and it has some nesting facilities for the birds, which other places, of course, lack.
And being such a developed area here, it's probably one of the few around this area where they can actually have this space.
Well said, Lynn, and I think people of the Gold Coast deserve to see these magnificent birds, but we have an obligation to the future and to the Ramsar Convention, the Migratory Species Protection Convention, to preserve these places. Birds are not sort of situated in one place, they move about, but they certainly know very instinctively which places are perpetual shelters for them, and that's why this lake is so popular with the birds and with the people who have seen it and the residents, of course, of this area.
So these man-made lakes are actually vital for the bird life around here at the moment, aren't they?
You're not wrong. These man-made lakes are crucial, just like regrowth is crucial in our city. 30 years of tranquil haven here shouldn't be disturbed for a 3-day show event, especially as the Puss Show Society will have many more people coming and they'll need to do bus and ride. Whereas the citizens of the Gold Coast are losing so many of these havens, and this, Lynn, is a public asset, owned by the people, controlled by the council. So the citizens in their 5,000 signatures on our petition have said no, save this beautiful spot. But there were plans, as many people realise, to make this, to fill it for a car park, this extraordinarily large area. And there was unfortunately movement of traffic and soil came with a nesting black swan on the lake, which is totally against all environmental regulation. The citizens stopped that, and of course now the public outcry has been so strong that I doubt this little lake will go, but we're watching it. Many people haven't seen this quiet, secluded spot, but when they do they're enchanted with it. Of course Brisbane has its lakes in the Botanical Garden, and they're very protective about their water features, and we on the Gold Coast are too. We've had help from the Swan Alliance in Brisbane that saved the beautiful lake from a car park or a development area. There were water purity tests done, laboratory scientifically attested, to have a lake that is within Australia water quality guidelines, which people can come and see magnificent bird life on. and children can learn about our wildlife and the wonderful winged inhabitants of the Gold Coast. These places are becoming increasingly rare, and some of them are lost to private development. But to lose something that's actually a public asset would be an extraordinary loss, especially for such a tiny gain. I mean, the Show Society does need support to have park and ride. That's the ecological and environmental and sustainable option for the future. Or else, if the Show Society's moved away from the crowded racing precinct, that is fine. But to obliterate this magnificent lake for a 3-day event would call into question council by residents for years and years to come. It'd be shocking.
Well, I got stuck in a traffic jam this morning for about half an hour, bumper to bumper. And it just reminds me how much the city can sometimes stress us out. But I came here to this beautiful little lake, and I've spent about an hour here with the bird life, and I've seen water hens chasing each other around, ducks chasing each other around, pigeons flying around crazy because a sea eagle came in. They've had ibis visiting, little diving duckies, which are just so cute that you can watch. The Gold Coast is a major tourist attraction in Australia, and the people don't just come here for the high rises and the city. They come here for our beaches, and they come here for our open spaces and the beauty that this city can also offer behind. I think it's so important in the middle of cities that we protect these areas, and we actually bring more of them back. It's our little bit of refuge in a busy, busy place.